Hey, what's up everyone? This is Snackbox. Hope you all had a great weekend and welcome back to the free-to-play series. Guys, in this video I want to talk about some of the Doom Tower bosses and a couple of things you should know before you go into that fight. Before we start, make sure to like and subscribe, and now let's get back to the video. So we all know some of the Doom Tower bosses can be really challenging if you don't really know what they do. But that's not a problem, we can fix that for sure. And the first boss I want to talk about is Bommel. Now there are a couple of ways to beat Bommel, but especially early on you're very limited to your options, right? You don't have that many champions, so you kind of have to use what you got. Now, when we take a look at the boss guide here, we can see that his damage is based on attack. That means if you bring a decrease attack champion, that would definitely help and decrease his damage. Also from his bombs, right? But the bombs here are not really the problem, not the debuff, it's the minions that he spawns. So you basically want to avoid him to spawn additional minions. He will spawn 2 anyway, and there are a couple of ways to tank those. Now the best way is to freeze those bombs and then they will do a little damage, right? But there are also other ways. For example, if you bring in an ally protection champion like Toragi, or if you put somebody in like a Vogov that has a passive heal effect when he gets damaged to out heal the damage that is done. You can also use Mass the Butcher, and I'm pretty sure there are more options for this specific role. You can also play a little bit with resistance here. As you can see, I used my Toragi as a lead in this team because of the resistance aura. And this helped me to get close to like 250-ish resistance, which you need for Doom Tower Normal for stage 90 to be able to resist some of the debuffs that Bommel is placing. And that is really, really helpful. Resistance actually plays a huge part why I am able to complete Doom Tower Normal. And this is my build on Toragi, for example. I have him in a regeneration set. He's now sitting at like 70, 71k HP. He brings ally protection for my champions and heals himself and is really tanky. So that helps me to mitigate the damage from the adds and from Bommel and also keep him alive with the regeneration and the immortal set. Then I also have Fane with the decreased attack, which mitigates some of the damage that Bommel is putting out. But also I have this golden elixir on her, so every time she drops below 50%, she will heal up for another 14%. And this is actually a really, really strong relic early on, and you should not sleep on it if you have it. So when I tried to kill Bommel, I actually failed a couple of times. Then I just swapped out the banner of Fane and got her resistance up to like 205. And with the 40 resistance from the Toragi aura, I was close to 250 resistance. And then Fane would start resisting some of the, HP burns and bombs. And she would also heal herself every time she dropped below 50%. And I have her in lifesteal, so she would heal up by doing damage as well. The only issue with Fane on Bommel is the A1. Because on her A1 she actually can steal turn meter, and that will trigger Bommel's passive to spawn more bombs. So I had to try 1 or 2 times until I had a run where the A1 didn't proc, and then it worked perfectly fine. So the key here was definitely to bring decrease attack, to bring some sort of damage mitigation to cover the bombs damage from the minions, right, that he spawns, but also to have enough resistance to resist some of the debuffs. That's basically how I beat stage 90 in the Doom Tower. Now Dark Fae, in my opinion, is way easier than Bommel. And the reason why I'm saying it is because the strength of the Dark Fae is basically your team. So the stronger your team gets, the harder it will be to beat her. And there's one key information that you need to beat this boss. I'm talking about this skill right here, where she banishes one enemy champion and spawns a mirror copy of them on her team. Then also places True Fear on all enemies and increases the dark energy counter by 1. This skill here can mess up your run, and it's not clear who she targets with this dark abduction skill, right? I remember the first time I tried this boss and I was failing so often because I did not know this. So the champion she targets with this skill is the champion with the highest attack. And because I had Alice with the highest attack, I would fail a lot. And I'm pretty sure most of the Alices are the one champion with the highest attack. Now, I actually gave Fane the highest attack for this boss. I changed the banner of Alice to a different one to reduce her attack and gave Fane an attack chest so she would have more attack than Alice. And that way, the Fae would actually target Fane instead of Alice, and I was able to kill Fane pretty quick with Alice, right? Because if Dark Fae steals Alice, then it gets a little bit tricky because Alice is not that easy to kill with the champions I have here. So the key was really to get Alice's attack lower than Fane's, have Fane to be the highest attack, and that way I always had Alice on my team and her skills ready to go. And that was basically the key to the victory. Now Scarab is a little bit trickier, right? The Scarab King always counterattacks when you attack him and you don't have shield on your champions. And that can actually be really devastating for your team. Now in my case here with Toragi, I'm actually able to solo the Scarab King even without shield because he would just out-heal the damage. First of all, the Scarab King is Spirit Affinity. That means you want to bring Magic Affinity champions, and most of the time, early on, you have a lot of Magic Affinity champions. So Toragi makes this boss really, really easy. But there are also different ways to beat this boss. And the best way is actually to have Blood Shield accessories on your champions, and that way you always have shield on your champions when you attack the Scarab, and then he doesn't counterattack. But this early on, we don't really have Blood Shield accessories, right? Because you get them from CVCs, and what if you didn't win one yet? Then you don't have Blood Shield accessories, right? So you kind of like have to find a way around it. Now, if you don't have a champion like Toragi, for example, that can solo this boss, there's also a different way to beat this boss. There are a couple of champions that can, bring in shield buffs, and then you can use somebody like Armiga, for example, and put him in a, destroy set. And this destroy set actually helps to break the shield of the Scarab King, and Armiga is perfect for that because he does max HP damage, he's scaling off defense, which makes him tankier, and he also can decrease the turn meter with his A1 if he crits. So you definitely want to build him with crit and give him, the destroy set and enough accuracy, and this will definitely help you to beat the Scarab King. The more you destroy the shield of the Scarab King by destroying his max HP, you will deal more damage to him with the hits, right? So it gets easier. Now this is another way how to beat the Scarab King. But if you have somebody like Toragi that can sustain himself, with heals and put poisons out, then you can easily solo this boss. Keep in mind to not bring too many buffs because, as you can see here on this skill, he places an extra hit on each enemy for each buff on the target, and then each extra hit also steals one random buff from the enemies that have no shield buffs. So if you have no shield, there's a chance that your buffs get stolen and he does multiple hits for each buff. So that you kind of want to keep that in mind before you bring champions in. And then you can see here from his passive the damage mitigation he has with the shield. If you destroy it less than 10%, he has a 90% damage mitigation, 60%, then 30%, and then 0 with more than 30%. Now there are some champions that can destroy max HP with their skills, but you can definitely also use the set which has the same effect. And if you use a max HP damage champion like Armiger, this will definitely help you to kill the Scarab King. So the next boss is going to be the Griffin and then the Dark Fae. And I can't wait to try to kill the final boss, the Dark Fae, on stage 120 and farm it. So yeah, the best boss you can farm in this rotation is definitely Dark Fae because you get material for the lethal set. And the lethal set is kind of like the savage set, just a little bit better because you get the 10% crit rate additional, and it really helps to get to that 100% crit rate. So yeah, keep using your silver keys daily to stack up those crafting materials, which is really important. Another thing I want to talk about is the 2x on mortal and immortal soulstones tomorrow. We have an awakening boost. So if you have mortal soulstones, here are the chances doubled to get 5-star and 6-star perfect souls from mortal soulstones and 6-star souls from immortal soulstones. Only the rank, not the rarity. So you kind of only get one of the two, but still, there are still a lot of rares that can benefit from a soul, right? For example, a Kale or a Bellowa or a Cold Heart. I only have 6 Mortal Soul Stones left because I used all mine on the Deck of Fate for the Knave of Hearts, which gave me a lot of fragments. And we actually are done with the Esme fusion as well, which is quite nice. I used maybe like 3 Sacreds and 30 Ancient Shards, maybe 100 or 200 Mystery Shards, but that's about it. And maybe a handful of Voids, not even, maybe like 2 Void Shards. I had a Primal Shard though, I used 1 Primal Shard for sure, but yeah, the amount of shards I used for this fusion is ridiculously low, and I did not expect to complete it. I was really struggling with it at first, but yeah, it worked out. So yeah, I'm really happy about it. I'm not gonna summon her yet because I also don't have enough resources to rank her up and stuff like that. So I'm gonna keep her in my fragment summon tab for now, and maybe I will use her for the next fusion for the Champ Chase tournament to be able to complete it, because I haven't started farming Ultra Nightmare yet, and that's where the shards are at, right? So I'm gonna keep her in the Fragment Summon tab for now, but yeah, I'm really happy about it that I got the fusion done. We're only like 45 days in. What day is it? It's, yeah, 45 days, and we got, the first fusion done. It's a fragment fusion. They're quite easy to do, or easier than the normal ones, but still, I know a lot of people done the fusion in this challenge, but I think nobody from the content creators actually attempted it. But I'm not sure. Maybe there is someone that did it too. But yeah, we got 42 fragments for the Knave of Hearts, and I'm gonna exchange those into those chests here, and I'm gonna get like 8 chests, and I hope I can get some nice rewards. A couple more fragments for mod would be nice. A legendary book, I would never say no to one, right? And hopefully a 5-star or 4-star chicken. I definitely don't want to see those brews or potions, right? So yeah, but we will see. I don't know when I can exchange those, maybe when the Alice event ends, but as soon as I can, I will definitely do it. Yeah, and in terms of shards, I'm just holding on to my shards and, you know, saving them up for the next fusion, and hopefully I can do that one too. But we will see. I know it's not really benefiting me for the challenge, for the leaderboards, but I kind of like want to leave this account in a, healthy space where I can still use it afterwards, because I want to use this account to be able to create more content from a free to play perspective. I'm also free to play on my main account, but that account isn't free to play. I spent on my main account, and I want to have an account where no money is spent, and I can actually say this is purely a free to play account. So I don't want to be that guy that says, "Oh man, I wish I went for the Esme fusion." So that's basically why I went for her, and I'm trying to go for as many fusions as I can, and play it smart, manage my resources, and try to min-max as much as possible. But yeah, if you have a couple of soulstones saved up, tomorrow is a time where you might want to use your soulstones because of the awakening boost, and it's a really good chance to get a good soul, and souls are such a massive upgrade. I mean, the 5-star soul for Alice is doing so much work, and the 6-star soul for Fane I have, and the 5-star soul for Cold Heart. It's just giving me so much advantage on how to build these champions. I really advise anybody to use their keys on the Iron Twins. Just run whatever stage you can and stack up those soul coins daily. just use your 6 keys. You don't have to buy those extra 6. I don't think it's worth it, especially when you don't have a lot of gems, but definitely use your 6 keys, because if you get a good soul, it will help you to progress so much. But yeah, other than that, I'm currently farming the masteries for Toragi and Morag, and as soon as I get that done, I will try to implement them into the clan boss team and see if I can 4-key Ultra Nightmare at least. I'm very close to finish those masteries and only need like a couple hundred more energy. Then tomorrow when the Spirit Keep opens, I need to farm some Spirit Potions. It's gonna open tomorrow and I'm gonna put some energy in there as well. Now, in terms of missions, I'm actually now at this arena mission where I have to upgrade an affinity bonus to level 7, and I actually got the medals ready to go. The problem with this really is you have to be on the game for so many hours a day to be able to get a lot of medals in, because you need to refresh a lot and look for these type of defenses which are easy to beat and then get the medals in, because there are not a lot of teams you can beat in gold 4, right, or gold 5, and that is really a problem. So the only way to farm those medals is to look for those easy defenses, for those one-man defenses, and for that you need to refresh every 15 minutes, and to be able to do that you need to be on the game every 15 minutes. So a lot of times I forget to refresh. I also had a couple of times when I was on the game, I was setting up a timer so I would get reminded on it. So if you're on the game a lot and you forget to refresh or farm the arena, just set a timer, and that will help you to get going with the medals. So yeah, basically completed this one, and I'm gonna collect it tomorrow, because then I can invest this energy into the Arcane Keep, farm it on auto, maybe mix 10 superior Arcane Potions, and then also farm the Spirit Keep, maybe also mix those 10 potions. And this is actually like every single one of these missions where you have to mix 10 superior potions will cost you 1 million silver, which is quite expensive. But then next up will be Magic, and then Force, and then of course the Void Keep. So yeah, there's no reason for me to rush this, right? I'm just gonna do this at my pace and see how far I can progress. But I think I'm doing okay so far with the missions. I saw some people already finished the Arbiter missions, which is quite impressive. But I think the arena missions are the ones that are holding people up, right? You need to refresh a lot of times to get to those 800 or 700 medals, which is kind of like the biggest problem, right? Like if I look at all these other missions here, I'm basically farming higher stages of every single dungeon. It's just the arena medals that are holding players back, basically. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope I was able to help with some of the Doom Tower bosses. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next video.